Good afternoon, my lovelies. Welcome to the Queen's Curry Kitchen. What time is it? It's like just shortly past noon. I hope you guys are doing well. Today is a Monday, brand new start to the morning, and on today's show we are making two things. I'd shown you the grocery haul a few days ago, and every day I'm picking something from that grocery haul and bringing it to you. The whole purpose is that I'm showing you how we use the things along the week and what kind of multiple uses we get from things that we buy in one shot. Okay, so very warm welcome, Bindu. Good evening. Good afternoon. Of course, you're in my same time zone. Good afternoon. I hope you're doing well. So one of the things that I bought on the grocery haul was this beet powder, if you remember. And I was wondering, what am I going to do with it? How am I going to use it? So I figured, good morning, Kina. How are you today? Oh, you're on quarantine. Oh my God. I'm sorry to hear that, babe. You know what? If I can send you some love, if I can send you some food. I wish you lived in the same town. I hope you guys feel better, okay? And thank you for quarantining, because that's the right thing to do, and that's the most responsible act, where you're thinking about others' safety. All right, so I'm gonna also show you this dosa batter that I bought, which is a batter made with rice and lentils, and it's fermented, okay? This is available. Most people who are from the south of India actually make this from scratch at home, and they always have a batch going. I unfortunately don't have the time or the inclination to make it from scratch, so I always buy a pre-mixed dosa batter. This is the brand that I buy. It's called Dosa Mix, and basically it's going to help us to make the crepes. Oh, Jesus, kid, I'm sorry to hear that. It's the reality. Like, every family has so much that they're dealing with this Omicron. And the crazy thing is, I've heard it doesn't show up in your tests till like 4 days or something. So, hang in there, baby. I hope she feels better soon. Hi, Subhashini. Welcome to the Queen's Curry Kitchen. I'm going to be doing two things. We are making a dosa that is going to be pink in color, and I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. And we are making a Turkish-inspired cardamom coffee, but we are going to make it from things that you already have in your home, okay? So let's get this process started. If you're looking at my look, you can see my hair is oiled and slung back. And I'll tell you the reason why I did it, and I will show you what I put in my hair to do this, okay? It's also another home hack, and it's a beauty secret from an Indian kitchen. Hello, Nalini. Hi, Sarita. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to everybody who is tuning in. I hope you guys are having a good day, and you will stick around with me to see this video. Okay, so for the coffee, I've got 1 cup of water that I got going, and I am going to be using good old instant coffee. There's nothing fancy about it. I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of instant coffee. Yes, we will cook the coffee. And we'll be using fresh cardamom for this coffee, okay? So if you have ever traveled to Turkey or had desserts and coffee at Turkish dessert places, you will know that coffee and cardamom actually are the new craze. And I thought I should give it a try. So I tried it once and I absolutely loved it. Okay, this is going to boil. So I'm going to lower the heat and let it do its thing. I even got a Turkish cup. Yay! Okay, so I'm just trying to rep the brand. All right, now moving over to our dosa and how we are going to make it pink. Hello, Dipandita. How are you today? It's good to see you here. Asha kori tumi bhalo acho. Happy New Year to you. Okay, so I'm going to combine two of the things that I did in my grocery haul. This is the beet powder that I bought, and this is the pre-mixed dosa that I bought, right? So let's try to amp up some nutrition on our dosa. What I'm going to do is, this is my first try with beet powder. I love beets, but I've never tried this powder like I mentioned before. So what I am going to do is, whoa, bro, look at the color of this thing. It is so vibrant. I love color in my life. And I'm going to put about this much into the batter. Let's see what it does. I'm going to close it really quickly. The last thing I want for it to do is to tip over and make everything red. And then I'm going to give it a stir. Like a really gentle stir. I don't know if it's still going to be pink after it gets cooked or not. But I just thought, if I have to put some nutrients in my body, I'm not the kind of person who can chug powders with water. I'm just not cut out like that. But this, I think I can live with this, right? So look how pink this is. I plan to use this in raitas and lassis and whatnot. So I will keep you. I'll do a live every time I'm using this beet powder. I think by the end of this month, we will probably have 30 uses for the beet powder. Okay, so this is what it looks like. My pan actually ended up becoming way too hot. So most people use a dosa pan, which I don't have. A dosa pan is usually a well-seasoned cast iron pan. I don't have that, but I usually use a very good non-stick pan. And it's also customary to cool down the heat on the pan before you actually throw down your batter. The reason for that is that you need to spread it out, and having a cool pan gives you the time that you need to make that happen. Okay, so let's go right ahead. This batter is a combination of rice and lentils. If there are any of my Southern Indian friends on this live right now, drop the proportions of the rice to the lentil. I think if you have picky eaters, or if you have kids who don't cooperate, I think you can put this beet powder in just about anything and entice them to eat it. I think it's not a bad idea, right? I don't know if it has any taste of its own or not. We'll find out. But that's why I'm going to do the taste test while I'm still on the live. Okay. So just take the time and spread it out. I don't like it too thin, but I also don't like it thick. So I'm going to add a little more into the spaces that are a little empty. And almost immediately it starts to crisp up. I have turned up the heat now. Okay, so I'm going to leave this untouched for a while. My coffee in the meantime is actually completely done. It's been bubbling away, and I have turned it down so I can use the time to talk to you guys. Let me get a strainer. I will strain my coffee. Isn't that a nice color though? Yeah. What is your most colorful food that you like to eat? Let's start with the red. I think in the reds, what do I like to eat? What do you like to eat in red foods? So there was a theory, I don't know, when we were in high school, there was this whole weight loss theory that if you eat red foods, you will lose weight or whatever. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add some ghee to the edges of my dosa. I love ghee in my dosa. If I don't have ghee, then I'll sometimes use coconut oil. But I just love ghee for breakfast. And you just drizzle a little bit. We don't want to overcook the dosa. But I think I'm going to have to cook on the inside as well. Okay, and you can see it already has started to leave the sides of the pan. La 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 la. And here's what I like to do. I love some cheese. I'm going to put some Parmesan cheese. You can try this with mozzarella too. It tastes really, really good, honestly. And if you just want it plain, honey, see the color changes after it cooks. You see that? Like how it was so vibrant and pink before. And then now it's... Okay, so that's one. And the interesting thing is that after every dosa, you must cool your pan. Okay, so we shall remove this from here. And then, of course, drizzle. You don't want to overcook the insides. I folded it in half and you can see it's well cooked. Ooh, let's see the parm inside. What does it look like? La, 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 la. Oh my God, it's hot. Da, 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 da. If you're vegan, just try vegan cheese. Or just skip the cheese part altogether. You can put whatever kind of fillings you want. I'm going to cool this pan again. Then I'm going to bring you in and show you what my coffee is looking like. Just a little drizzle of water. And a quick wipe down. That does it. Typically, two dosas are enough. Now, dosas are traditionally served with a coconut peanut chana dal chutney, which I have no desire to make right now. And when I find myself at those kind of situations where I need something to complete a meal, but I don't have the time or the capacity or the skill to do it, I just find substitutes. And my closest substitute for dosa chutney that I like to use is hummus. I just take hummus and I basically eat my dosa with that. Okay, already it has layers of flavor with the cheese and everything. I'm going to turn the heat back up. This is what the coffee looks like. I'm not going to add any sugar or milk, but if you like it, you can. This coffee blend with the cardamom is already available on my website. If anybody wants to go ahead and get that, I've already blended it for you in the right proportion of coffee and cardamom. So if that's something that you want to give it a try, you can go ahead and go to the online shop. The website is queenscurrykitchen.com. If you're not already following or sharing this page, you are missing out on being on a flavor journey with me. There's a lot of interesting content coming up. There are some Zoom classes that are coming up, which I will be talking about as we get along. That's the second dosa. I've cranked up the heat. Now is the time to put some parm. Yeah, I don't like too much cheese, but I like a little bit of cheese. Okay, now since you wanted to know about why my hair looks like that, let me show you. That's gonna take a while, so we can let that be. Okay, so this, especially in the winter season, I see my scalp becoming a little flaky, it becomes dry, and it becomes very itchy. Also because of the blowouts that we constantly do in the winter time, because you can't walk around with wet hair. So I actually made an oil with fresh rosemary and coconut oil. So when it started out, it wasn't this green. It was actually more transparent, but you can see I've let the rosemary sprigs just sit in there. I haven't really strained them, and I made, I think 2 or 3 of them. One I've given away, 2 I still have. And I've been using this, once every 2 weeks or so. I have to say I'm not consistent, so I'm really bad like that. But there are some really, really interesting tricks that you can do, which are beauty secrets from Indian kitchens that actually work. Rosemary is not an herb that traditionally grows in India. So in India, there's a hair oil that you can make with curry leaves and grated onion juice, and coconut oil, and then you boil it with some fenugreek seeds, and then you store it in a bottle. But I'm telling you, it really works. It immediately gives me such a calm feeling, especially if I use like a natural shampoo which doesn't have too many fragrances or too many synthetic things. If I use like a natural shampoo like a shikakai soap bar or something, immediately my scalp just feels so calm. It doesn't feel irritated, it doesn't feel itchy. And rosemary also works really well on pets. So if you have pets who are struggling with scalp issues, or they're always itchy, if you have babies who have dry skin or itchy skin, you can use rosemary and oil. And what I did was, there is a whole video that I made on this, so it should be on my YouTube channel in case anybody wants to know. I basically slow cooked it for 8 hours in my slow cooker. So I put everything together and I went to sleep, and then I woke up the morning after and put it in this jar. So this is what it looks like. And that's what I do, like maybe once a couple weeks or 3 weeks. So here's my coffee. I'm going to do a taste test. But again, if you want to not have to measure anything or make it from scratch, you can just buy the powder that's on the website. The website is queenscurrykitchen.com. And let me see if I can drop a link to the shop. Perhaps not. I'm not able to comment anything, am I? Let me see if I can paste the link. No, well, the link has disappeared. So anyway, so it's queenscurrykitchen.com. Scroll back down and you will see a chai masala, and you will see cardamom coffee in the spice shop. This is still predominantly very coffee oriented, but there's a nice sweetness of cardamom that you get, which is a back note, which I think is really, really interesting. The cardamom does not dominate the coffee. You still know that you're drinking coffee, which is like the greatest thing. But it's got a really smooth flavor, and it's not bitter. Like, how sometimes coffee is bitter? So if you like your desserts, imagine this with like a nice chocolate croissant or like a pistachio crusted baklava or something. It would be really good. So yes, I do want to go to Turkey, but I don't know when that's going to be. Until then, we just have to humor ourselves by cooking foods from across the world and bringing them on our table. So we have something from South India. We have the hummus from the Mediterranean, which I'm going to pair with my dosa, of course. This is a lemon hummus. And sometimes what I do is I actually take a store-bought, you can see this has the za'atar. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll take a store-bought hummus, I thin it down and add some frozen coconut to that, and I churn it in the blender, and then I put a tempering of mustard seeds and curry leaves on top of the hummus, and then save it. So then I use it like my dosa chutney. Like, ain't nobody got time to keep making this every day from scratch. Oh, Vinita, that is so sweet. Thank you, baby. Mwah. You love watching my videos. I love doing the videos because I feel like you guys are pretty much the only sane human contact that I have in the whole day. Everybody else that I have to deal with all day long is crazy. Yes, there's different levels of craziness, but yeah, you guys are very sane. Okay, so Vinita says that she gets a lot of ideas from watching my videos. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Idea is my middle name, even though I don't use it on my social security card. But if there's anything that you see here and you try it, or if you use a tip or a trick and it, really works for you and it transforms the way you've been making something, tag me, send me a message, tag me, send me a text message. I'm super accessible and approachable, and I absolutely love to see the videos that you share, testimonials that you send my way. I absolutely love that. And if there's something that, this page changed in your life, or you bought a book from us and you loved it, or you ordered our meal service and you loved it, or you ordered a spice kit and you loved it, go on to the Facebook page, leave us a review. We would really, really appreciate that. Hello, Pooja, my girl. How you doing, baby? It's good to see you here. So Pooja is a radio presenter, and she is the techie brain behind so many radio shows. Even when I do radio, she is my tech queen. So she's my tech angel who handles all the glitches, and she can literally fix things in her sleep. You know what? Maybe I should do a radio show and then do a cooking show side by side. Wouldn't that be nice? All right, you know what? My coffee is calling me. I did show you 2 things from my grocery haul, and I told you how I put them into immediate practice. I still have so much batter left. You can see this is a very cost-effective meal, eating dosas. Sometimes when, you know what? Let me actually do another version of this. Hold on. Hold on, baby, for one more day. Let me cool the pan. I will show you one more version of what I do with this. Okay, hold on. It's not over till it's over. Yes, you love cooking and trying out new recipes. That's great, Vinita. Think about taking a class. I have a class coming up on Thai food. I have a class coming up on Mediterranean food. There is a class coming up for Valentine's Day where you're going to cook with me for your loved one. And of course, if they want to cook for you, then give them my phone number. All right, so we are going to do a thicker version of this, which is kind of more on the lines of pancake rather than a dosa. You can see the dosa is pretty much really a thin crepe. Can you see like how thin this is? The next thing that I'm going to show you is something that I absolutely love. I just wasn't prepared to do it, so just bear with me while I gather everything. Okay. Ta-da. So this is my trusted masala box. You can see I need to refill some things. Don't worry, you can get this on my website, okay? So yeah. All right, so I'm going to put in some batter. Before that, I'm going to put in just a little bit of ghee. You can also do oil, you can do butter, you can do coconut oil. Just do what works for you, okay? So I'm going to go, in this case, I'm not going to spread it, okay? I'm just going to let it sit, and this needs to be thicker than the dosa. I'm not going to spread it. You're not going to see the grooves. This has to just cook by itself. And then I'm going to add a little bit of cumin seeds. My flame is absolutely at the lowest setting. Completely, like really, really at the lowest setting. Okay. Then what am I going to add to this? I'm going to add something green. I think something red or pink calls for something green. So how about some bell peppers? I do have some green onions in my fridge as well, but I just cannot find them right now. It's not so handy anymore. So you could do this. You could put cabbage, right? And just make it interesting. So if you have picky eaters who don't want to eat vegetables, tell them this is the Indian version of pizza. I don't know. Put corn, put cabbage. I'm probably going to put some Parmesan cheese too, only because I have all this cheese left after all these catering parties from the holidays and I didn't quite finish everything. So I have smoked cheese, I have goat cheese. Oh, you know what? Tomorrow, do you guys want to see like how I use goat cheese to make a sandwich spread? Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. So for tomorrow's video, perhaps we'll do a goat cheese spread. And I'll show you how we make dips and spreads out of goat cheese. If you guys shop at Trader Joe's or Aldi's, they have such great goat cheese. And you know, sometimes you just buy the log and you don't know what to do with it. So I'll probably do one of those things. Hi Rena, hello Nandini ji. Yes, put carrots, cauliflower or cabbage, whatever you've got going on, honey, just put that. Whatever makes you happy, put it. Okay, I don't have mozzarella, so I'm just going to put parm. But if you have mozzarella or anything else, mozzarella. What do they say? Mozzarella. I was going to do a, whatchamacallit, a paneer series because I have to make paneer. But perhaps tomorrow. Now the next step that we have to do is we have to go ahead and cover this. And keep the flame medium. My coffee is getting cold. Let's say a quick hello to, oh yes, okay. Amy says she wants to see a goat cheese spread. All right, Amy, give the queen a cigar. I will make a goat cheese spread for you. Actually, not tomorrow because tomorrow is the live from my kitchen. I have to go back. I took a 2-week, was it a 2-week break? I took a 2-week break from the meal delivery service. So tomorrow we are jumping back onto the meal delivery wagon. It's going to be, I think, 3 degrees tomorrow. Or something. Yes, it's going to be like 3 degrees. And I have to go to work at 6 a.m. But I have to say I'm very thankful for all the phones that kept ringing because people missed the food. So thank you, God, for giving me a purpose in life and for giving me meaningful work that I enjoy. Hello, Louis. It's nice to see you. Mwah. Okay, so Louis is a sweetheart. He lives in my neighborhood and he has 2 little furry friends. Rubina Farouk, assalamu alaikum. Welcome, welcome. I hope you guys are enjoying this video. So Jata ji, we just finished making pink dosas. Ta-da! With Parmesan cheese inside. And we made some cardamom coffee. I hope, yes, Thai food classes are coming, Vinita. Thai food classes are certainly coming. It's going to be towards the end of this month. And if you want to know more about it, just send me a PM so that my team can pick it up. And they'll be able to send you, the registration form. And then after that, you're going to get a list of ingredients that you have to shop for. And you will get the Zoom link. So we will all be cooking together. So it's really a cook-along format. It's not like you're sitting there and I'm doing the cooking. So it's not like me and the workout videos. I just watch the videos and think, oh, I'm going to lose the weight. Yeah, that's a good move. I like that. So people are doing the Zumba on the screen and I'm just sitting there like, yeah, that's a good move. I like that song. Don't do that, okay? Cook with me. Sorry, I'm just groovy all the time, but you guys are my tribe, I like to hang out with you. Yes, perfect with the masala dosa. So that's a cardamom coffee, which is Turkish inspired. If you want to get a cardamom coffee in your mailbox, go into the website. It's all there. Just scroll down, go into the spice shop. You'll see it. Let's take a look at how this little guy is doing. So how we know whether this is done or not is you'll have to see if the batter on top is kind of, you see how it's still wet? Can you see? Let me bring you in closer. You see how this is kind of wet? So it's pretty much like that, the toothpick and the bread and the cake kind of a scenario. That's the reason why we cover it, because we want to cook it from both sides. So that's how it goes. This is going to sit there. Our pink dosas are ready. So if you are your own Valentine like I am, don't wait for the chocolate covered strawberries. Don't wait for something pink, honey. Make it yourself, eat it yourself. Oh my God, Vinita's making chickpea. She's making a chickpea crepe, which is great because I'm gluten free. So I eat a lot of chickpea crepes. I eat a lot of dosa. I don't do gluten. So, And I'm not kidding, like not because I wanted to follow a gimmicky thing or something, but ever since I stopped eating gluten, my joints, I'm not kidding, they are so thankful. I don't know if you can see, but my finger had started twisting and turning, and I saw that I was seeing that they were kind of bending. And also when I would wake up in the morning, I would have problems like closing my fist. But I am not kidding. If you have not given a gluten-free lifestyle a try and you have joint pains or inflammation of any kind, honey, it's a game changer. Yes, I cannot eat pani puri, I cannot eat samosas, but it's such a small price to pay. And also the sugar, child, I mean, not to brag, and I've been doing this for a few months, but I didn't want to talk about it till I actually saw what it was doing for me. You can actually see that I can see less inflammation around my neck. If you see some of my older videos, you'll probably be able to tell the difference. Okay, so yes, I can't do any cookies. I made an almond flour cake for New Year's Eve. So I've been able to find substitutes, and in America, it's just so easy to be gluten-free. Also, when you don't do gluten, your body doesn't like go all, I'm not a medical practitioner, but I'm just telling you what works for me. I used to see that after meals, I used to become lazy. I used to become sluggish. When I don't do a gluten-based meal, or when I don't do like too much rice in the middle of the day or too much gluten in the middle of the day, rotis and parathas. I've never been a paratha fan, but whenever I did a gluten meal, I would just feel like my stomach was just heavy, and I not have any energy. I just wanted to take a nap. I'm telling you, ever since I moved away from eating rotis of any kind or any kind of wheat, like no bread, no roti, no biscuits, cookies, all those things, I don't even crave anything. Like, yes, I have to admit that the first, I would say, couple of weeks were hard, okay, without gluten. A couple of weeks were really hard because you're so used to eating that cookie in the morning with your chai, right? So that was something that I really had to break past. But I'd also given up sugar. So the combination of these two, you guys, I'm not even kidding, but I'm a living testimony. I haven't seen very many big changes in terms of like inch loss or whatever, but already I feel so much lighter in my belly. I can eat foods. I used to crave coffees and teas all the time. Now there's only 1 cup of coffee or 1 cup of tea that I will drink in the day, and I'm fine. Like, I don't crave, oh my, let me eat this, let me eat that, or and I work in the restaurant. So from 5 in the evening to 10 in the night, I'm in the restaurant. There's so much food that goes in front of my eyes that it's very easy to get tempted. But I kid you not, I have found substitutes for gluten, and it's really, really worked. I'm not going to say that you should do it or not do it, but at least try to minimize it. You'll see how it affects your insulin levels. Like, my family is predisposed to diabetes. I don't have any health conditions that that are to that nature yet, thankfully, but it's just an observation. If you really want to see how you can, disentangle yourself from the food cravings, or like you eat something salty and then you want something sweet, you finish something sweet and you want something salty, and then when you're driving past a Starbucks, you feel tempted, oh my God, I really have to get in there and get a coffee or get a latte or whatever. Oh my God. Yes, Vinita, that's so true. I had stopped eating eggs altogether, but I've seen that on the mornings when I eat maybe 1 or 2 eggs, and I eat like a besan kachila, or I eat something with Greek yogurt or whatever, it really keeps me so satisfied for so long. And I've added dates to my morning routine. So in the morning I had a kahwa with almonds, which is like a green tea with saffron, cardamom, and cinnamon, and I had some slivered almonds in that. I did not eat my dates yet, but that's something I always keep in my car because it's just really good on the go. But these little tiny changes have really helped. And if you are somebody who's, saying, oh, my joints hurt or my back hurts or I wake up with stiffness, it might just be the gluten. There's nothing wrong with gluten. A lot of people argue, oh, we've been eating it for like 4,000 years. What could be wrong now? There's nothing wrong with wheat or gluten. The problem is the way that it's farmed. So the commercial crops that are created nowadays. Hey, DJ Feroz, oh my God, a musical man in the Queen's Curry Kitchen. That's awesome. So yeah, so it definitely has helped. And if it's something, especially if you're in your like late 40s or 50s, try to play around with how much gluten you put in your body and how you feel the day after. clearly the secret to aging or not aging has to do with how you manage your insulin. And a lot of that has to do with how the spikes happen when you put grains in your body. Most doctors say that grains actually only lead to inflammation and they don't do much for you. I feel like, yes, there are grains that are good for you and not that good for you, but you really have to see what works with your body. Like I said, I am not a medical practitioner. I'm only sharing my experience and what works for you. If you want to know what happened to me after I gave up sugar, and I think it's been in May, I kind of thought about giving it up, and then gradually I phased it out of my diet. So I won't put sugar in my chai or in my coffee. But sometimes I'll eat ice cream, or then sometimes I'll eat a piece of jaggery. So, or also if I'm making Asian food, then I'll put sugar. So sometimes now instead of sugar, I put maple syrup. And it totally works. Sometimes I put maple syrup in my coffee and that totally works. But I'm not kidding. I used to have a lot of pigmentation like right around here on my face, on my skin, and a lot of yeast infections. And I'm not kidding. When I stopped putting sugar in my body, all of that changed. All of that changed, right? So the excessive thirstiness that I used to feel, or after eating something sugary, I used to feel like I need to eat something salty. After something salty, I used to feel like I need to eat some sugar again. All of that is gone. Yes, it was hard. First couple of weeks was really hard, and I sometimes forgot that, oh, if I'm used to drinking a caramel macchiato at Starbucks, then I shouldn't do it because caramel is also sugar. So it takes a little training. It's not impossible, but medical science says that sugar and I think sugar and heroin, I think, are the two that are very comparable in terms of the addiction. So that addiction is very similar to as if you were on dopamine or heroin or something. So it's like some crazy drug that you cannot de-addict yourself from. Sugar pretty much has the same effect on our brain. So I just wish that, when I was little, my mom and my dad knew better and they wouldn't put sugar in front of us. But we didn't grow up that way. We had sugar everywhere around us, and my dad had an insane sweet tooth. Thankfully, I never inherited the sweet tooth, but we did grow up around sugar. Like there was sugar in our chai, there was sugar in our milk and cereal and whatnot. But as a mom now, I try to tell my daughter, hey, you know what, whatever you can substitute, just do honey or do whatever. So yeah, so that's pretty much what my life looks like. I have to go to work at 4, but this is the time that I get in the morning when I can connect with you guys. And like I said, I did the grocery haul. If you guys missed that video, it should be somewhere in the past live videos if you scroll through my page. Let's see what Vinita's saying. Vinita, I really appreciate your contributions. You're so sweet for sharing all this. I really, really appreciate it. Let me read it for everybody else. So Vinita makes a sugar-free laddu with nuts, dates, and chia seeds, coconut, and flax seeds, and she adds a bit of jaggery and eat one at breakfast. Oh my God. Yes. I've been meaning to do like a pinni making video, but I just have to find the time because, just roasting that stuff takes about half an hour. So I might have to make it in segments, or I'll probably do part of the work and then come on the live and then share that with you guys. But I certainly, it's definitely on my cards, and it's the perfect accompaniment with the chai, the masala chai that I have on my website. So yes, I will definitely look at it. If you want to share your recipe and you want me to make it with everybody else, I'll be happy to do that. Okay. So yeah, so I'm gonna go. Like I said, we did our pink dosas, which are actually like very cold right now. I am going to nuke them up. This is my cardamom coffee. I made it from scratch, but if you don't want to be bothered measuring anything, head over to the website. The Cardamom Coffee box is on sale. Go get it. Shipping is free all over the US. And of course, there's chai masala. So there's chai masala. There is also a coconut curry coastal blend for making all your sambar and making all your South Indian dishes. Oh my God, Kina is having fried eggs and grits. Yes, my girls, go and get that protein, right? So I'm not saying I'm anti eggs or anti chicken. I just like vegetarian food, but I'm realizing more and more that if you put in little bits of protein here and there, it definitely keeps you fuller for longer, and it helps you from losing lean muscle. I've been toying with the idea of making a bone broth, but I don't know if you guys would be open to watching something like that. Let me know. It's a traditional yakni recipe, which is made with either lamb tatters, or then I don't don't eat beef, so I can't do it with beef. But if you want to see a lamb tauters, like a bone broth recipe, I will definitely be happy to share that with you. If there are any vegans that are watching, I do apologize, that video may not be for you. For all of you asking about the Thai cooking class, please send me a PM as soon as this video is over so that my team can pick up your information, and we will keep you updated of whenever that class is going to hit the charts. We will be making spring rolls. We'll make spring rolls. We will make basil fried rice. We will make a tom yum tofu curry, and we will make, I'm trying to think, if I do the Thai iced tea, will everybody have the supplies or not? Yeah, I think we'll probably just stick to these three. We will make the appetizer, which is going to be the spring rolls. We will make the peanut dipping sauce that goes with the spring rolls. We will do a tom yum tofu and vegetable curry, and we will do a basil fried rice. So if the Thai class is something that you're thinking about, it's going to be about an hour and a half of time that's going to be on Zoom. It won't be on Facebook, and it will not be free. It is a paid class. You will get a list of all the ingredients that are going to come to you, and you will basically arrange your ingredients, and then we will jump right into the class. Okay, so if you have taken one of my classes before, you know that it's all full of information and a lot of cook along. So as you're making something, if you run into problems, you can literally just pause the class and ask your questions, and I can take a look at what it looks like. I can tell you what you should or shouldn't do differently. So that would be a really good starting point. So don't be afraid to embrace different flavors. Vanita, classes usually start at about $25 to $35. That's pretty much no, I don't send the ingredients. I actually send you a list of ingredients that you can shop for depending on wherever you live. If you do want me to send the ingredients, I can arrange that as well. But for fresh things like tofu and broccoli and things like that, you might have to get your own. I can certainly send you the sauces and the coconut milk and, things that come in a can or a bottle. I can send you those. Okay, Kina? So yeah, so do think about it. Classes usually are in the range of $25 to $35, and it's usually about an hour to an hour and a half. It's for all skill levels. I really don't judge if you're a beginner in the yes, very southern style breakfast. If you're a beginner in the kitchen, don't be hesitant. You can always take classes. If you go into my website, you'll see the classes that are for beginners, and you can really start your journey there. If you are somewhat comfortable in the kitchen and you want to just up your skills and learn a different kind of cuisine, Indian people love Thai food, and I do the Indo-Thai version, so it's kind of still a lot more flavorful than just the Thai food, and there's not that much heat, so you'll actually be able to appreciate all the flavors as they unravel on your palate. So that's what I teach you. I'll teach you what are the aromatics and how do you need to extract the maximum benefit from them. And then whether you're doing a tofu tom yum or whether you're doing a shrimp tom yum or chicken tom yum, the technique is the same. You'll be able to apply that. You will also get printouts of all the recipes that we will be making. I do request not to share those with anybody because those are actually proprietary and it's copyright material. So please don't share it. It's for your knowledge and for you to add to your recipe bank so that you can recreate that recipe whenever you want. But it's a lot of fun because we're all cooking together and we're talking and we're chatting and everyone's learning something. The dishes actually come out to be super, super delicious. So don't think that just because we're online, our food is not going to taste good. The recipes are to the T, and I always encourage cooking by intuition. So you will be tasting whatever you're making. Sometimes your taste buds are a little bit different than mine and you want to add more heat or more sweet. We will talk about all of those specific things that make every dish yours, and you can proudly say that yes, this is what I created, and it's really going to come out really, really good. Okay, so yes, Nandini, the Thai food class is going to be towards the end of January, but if you want to get in on it, just drop me a private message on my Queen's Curry page so that my team can pick up your information and we can start the registration process and we can put you down. It's going to be a Zoom format. I will be going live from 2 devices. So you will see one device, which will be right overhead on top of the stove. And then on one device, you will be seeing me. Plus, I'll be able to see all of your food and your faces. So it's just going to be a cook along. So, get ready. It is usually during the day because I do have to work the evening shift at my restaurant. I can try to do it like on a Saturday afternoon if that works better for everybody. Because then, if you're not at work, then you're home and you can actually eat that for dinner or lunch or whatever. But the latest that I'm going to probably do it is going to be noon-ish. It's not going to be any later than noon. Okay, Nandini ji, I'm going to add you in. So I have Nandini, I have Vinita, and I think Kina is considering it. So anybody else who wants to do the Thai class, I will do a vegetarian Thai class, but if you want to do it, if you want to take a recipe and do it with chicken or shrimp or whatever, send me a message. Let me know what are the what are the tweaks that you'd like, and I'll be able to guide you accordingly. So, I'm just keeping it vegetarian in the broad interest of everybody, but if you want to do it your way and you want to include some animal protein, just make it your own, okay? Oh, pho is going to be Vietnamese, so I haven't really designed a class for that yet, but maybe I'll do it on one of the live videos, Vinita. Do you want to do the vegan version? I'm thinking you'd probably want to do the vegan version because your husband is vegan, right? So I might do pho as one of the... Actually, what did I make? Oh, you know what? I think 2 days ago or 3 days ago, I did the soba noodle soup, which was a Korean style soba noodle soup, and that was totally vegan. So definitely go and look up that. That was a Korean style, and it came out so darn good. I cannot even, not because I made it, but it just really turned out really, really good. So, okay, so you know what? I'll look up some recipes for vegan pho noodle soups, and we will do a pho, but we will do a vegan version, and I'll tell you how to make it not vegan. So that way you can see the video and you can follow it along. Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, you sure can. No, but also with the bone, the broth itself will then have to be a bone broth base instead of a vegan base. So that's the difference. Yeah. So it's not just adding the chicken on top. It's also got to do with creating the flavor from the bones and extracting all the collagen and creating the broth from the actual bone. So in your case, we won't do that. You can just add chicken on top, okay? But that's okay. If you have vegans in your family, this is the thing. A lot of my clients are now omnivorous families. Someone's following keto, someone's not following keto. The kids are vegan, the parents are not vegan. The parents are vegan, the kids are eating everything. So this is the reason why I just launched my a la carte menu for all the people that live in New York and Queens and Manhattan or wherever. A lot of my clients now have access to the a la carte menu, which is a custom menu, but you can actually pick and choose chicken and shrimp or lamb dishes from that menu, because a lot of families are now omnivorous. There is also a book on my website which is called The Spice of Life. I tried the vegetable. Oh, so Vanita, there's a piece of news for you. Nandini ji on our feed says that she has just tried the vegetable and the bone broth from Trader Joe's, and she did you like it, Nandini ji? What was your opinion? Did you enjoy it? Did you like it? So just let us know so that Vinita can look at Trader Joe's and see if she wants to give that a try. Okay? And doctors already are saying that, drink your bone broth. So all the things that our grandmothers taught us, all the dadis and the nanis of India taught us. Okay, so Nandini ji says that she absolutely loved both of the vegan broth and the bone broth. She loved both. So Vinita, if you live by your Trader Joe's, perhaps you could give it a try. Right? So yeah, we have a vote of confidence. This is not a sponsored post, and Trader Joe's is not paying Nandini ji anything. I'm quite sure of that. Okay, so since your whole family loves pho, I think we'll do one. Kettle and Fire has a great bone broth. I'm not sure if if it's bone, then it's obviously not vegan. Right? So sometimes they'll do a mushroom bouillon or something. Yeah. Nandini ji, that's great. Every doctor nowadays says that put a cup of bone broth in your diet. I don't do beef, so I don't do the beef broth, but sometimes I have yakni in the house and I'll slurp that, or then I'll put other things in it to make it a nice wholesome meal. That's great, Vinita. Oh, so he had problems with his sugar levels, and so Vinita's husband turned vegan. Okay, well, as long as, and it's been a year, right? So it's as long as it's working for him, that's great. Try to give him wholesome meals. Yes, you get $1 million hug from me always, Nandini ji. You're just so sweet. All right, Nandini ji, Vinita is very inspired. She's saying she's definitely going to try the Trader Joe's thing. So yes, thank you for being a part of this and contributing your experience and sharing that with all of our... Oh, that's great. Yeah, so he's seen changes, right, ever since he went vegan. Well, that's great. That's great. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So, if anybody's considering, I was talking about insulin levels and how I went off sugar and how it's helped me. Also, I went off gluten and how it's helping me. So I don't know if my next step is going to be to kick rice to the curb or whatever, but I don't miss anything. When I want to eat noodles, I eat soba noodles, which is buckwheat, which is anyway way healthier than gluten and rice noodles. Sometimes when I miss bread, then I have gluten-free bread. So there's a lot of different options and substitutions that we can think of. And now, okay, so Kina is sharing something very interesting. Kina says, I learned that diabetes should walk before a meal and after. It helps a lot to bring the sugar down. That's a really, really great tip, Kina. If anybody is yes, nobody's a doctor, but any little tip and trick that is, I feel like sometimes when you talk to doctors or you talk to Ayurvedic practitioners, they will give you this freaking outlandish thing that is just so beyond your achievement that you'll just feel you'll do it for 1 or 2 days, but it's not sustainable, right? And I feel like when you've used something and it's worked for you and you just share it with somebody and perhaps they'd want to take a shot at it, it's just more easy to apply to your regular life, because I feel like it's more sustainable. You can find ways of doing it and you feel like, okay, it's working out. So, and you'll start seeing changes. Like your body is really, really such a magnificent, what should I say? It's a very complex instrument. And if you can learn how to like play the guitar or drum or drive a car, you can learn how to tune into your body. Nandini ji says this is a really great tip. So all diabetics should think about keeping a pet so that they're motivated to walk. Yes, whether you want to walk or not, that dog is going to stand at the door at whatever, like 2 o'clock in the morning and be like, I need to go for a walk, and you're gonna have to take him. So Kina says riding a stationary bike also works. Amy is totally enjoying this live. Vinita says that her husband actually walks. He walks 15 minutes walks after lunch and not munching much, and he eats nuts. Well, that's great. Also, another tip for a lot of Indian people, because we like to eat our fruits after our meal, right? Listen very carefully. If you're Indian, you are probably guilty of this. So I was doing this for many years and thinking like, oh, I'm the very dutiful wife, and after the food I'm cutting up a whole plate of fruit. Now here's the thing. This thing really changed the way I thought about fruit. So how we like to eat fruit for dessert. So we've eaten a whole full meal with dal and rice and carbs and everything, and after that we are serving fruit. So what happens is that actual food which needs to that's great, Vinita. I think he's really on the right track. I mean, he's doing something right and it's already working for him. That's wonderful. So here's the deal. If you're Indian and you eat fruits after your regular meal, right? Let's say you eat a plate of fruit. Regular food with, carbs and lentils and beans and vegetables and fish and chicken, whatever you've eaten, that takes about 4 to 6 hours to travel through your body and get absorbed, right? Fruits, on the other hand, need about half an hour to be digested from morning to from the time you eat it. It takes about half an hour to be passing through your gut. So when you eat the regular food, and this is a channel, so it's like a train, and like a train compartment. So everything stacks up. So you're eating the regular food, which is going to sit in your belly for 4 to 6 hours. And then on top of that, you eat the fruit. So the regular food is moving so slowly that by the time the fruit gets to the middle of your gut to be absorbed, it's really just putrid and useless and stinky and not got any goodness left in it at all. It's already deteriorated in those 4 to 6 hours. It has nothing to offer your body. So whatever you're absorbing from the fruit is really just useless. You're only getting the sugars, but you're not getting any of the benefits from the fruits, right? So that equation or that reality really changed the way I used to think about fruit. So now what I do is before we start our meal, I will put out some fruits, and usually when I make a salad, I also put like little raisins, or I'll put apples, and I put a little chaat masala or like Himalayan pink salt and lemon on it, just because when you start your meal with that, then it really makes you want to eat more. It's very appetizing, but it also is the good kind of sweet and salty that you're getting in your body before you load up on all the carbs. So if you're doing any fruits after your meals, especially like, just raw fruits, I'm not talking about bottled juices or whatever. I'm just saying, like, how you would cut mangoes. And in India, it's such a prevalent practice. Like after every meal, like cut up the mangoes, cut up the cantaloupes. It's just such a common thing. I think we've done it all our life as kids. So it's good to know, because then over time, that's the thing that leads to diabetes as well. So, these are things that you can control. These are things Vinita says that her husband is such an inspiration. All their friends are following him. So, if he's that committed, I really salute him, because I have a huge problem with consistency and commitment. I start something and then I'm like, nah, I'm not doing it. I'm going to start it and then I'm going to be like, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. So yeah, so this is I seriously, Kina, this is such a great group of people that we have today. Everybody's, sharing their experience. They're sharing whatever has worked for them. And I think Amy says fruit after dinner is a classic Italian dinner. I'm telling you, it's the Indian way too. Like we will put out oh, thank you. Nandini says that her husband is a fan of my health tips. He will follow you more than any other guru. Oh my god, well, that's really nice to know. I am not perfect, sir, but I try. Okay, Vinita says yes, her husband is very, very strict. Tell him to start like a TikTok page or an Instagram page. We'll all follow your husband, okay? Because I really need the motivation. I literally need somebody who's going to kick me in the butt and say, okay, get up and go for your walk. Because if I don't go, I just won't go. So that's just the nature of the beast I am. I think physical activity is the last thing that I put on my list. And it's weird because yesterday I actually got enough time to make my vision board for the year, right? And I usually do a vision board every year. This year I was a little too busy with the end of the year and the beginning of the year. So I actually came down to doing it yesterday. And once I stepped back and looked at it, I realized that I didn't put any kind of physical activity. And there was not even a picture of anybody in a gym or dumbbells or anything. I did put like a dance. I put a dance image because I love to dance, and I've learned Kathak and I've learned Bharatanatyam, but I just love to dance. Like that's my fix. But if you tell me to go to a gym and, sit around with like the rubber mats and the metal equipment, I absolutely hate that. I'll do a Zumba class, but I'll do a Zumba class for 40 minutes, but I cannot go to the gym for 10 minutes. I just cannot do it. And yoga, I find, is like, it's good, but it's just like too slow for me. So that doesn't cut it. So anyway, I'm just a very weird person when it comes to physical activity. And I just run from it, and I'm not proud of it, but that's something that I really want to work on. So instead of saying that, oh, I'm going to do like a, 360 transformation and glow up in 90 days, I'm not going to claim any of that stuff, but I will say that I'm trying to create, and I'm trying to create sustainable habits that actually make me feel good on the day-to-day. And I really like things that immediately start showing their effect. So I know the difference in my body when I don't take my vitamins and when I do take my vitamins, right? Okay, so here's some inspiration too. Go follow Code All Clear on Instagram. He's a great inspiration about diabetes and walking. Okay, can you send me a link or just drop the link in the comments? Anybody else who wants to pick it up could just go to it directly from here. And Vinita says he used to love non-veg, but he gave up all and became vegan. It was like shocking for me at first, but wow, that's a big one. Like some people just don't like non-vegetarian food and they're like, oh, I'm going to give it up. It's not a big deal because you didn't like it anyway. Like for me, I've never been a fan of non-veg food, but for me to give it up, it'd be like, oh, I gave it up. Chhod diya. What do you mean chhod diya? You never liked it to begin with, right? But for someone who's actually a die-hard non-veg lover, like they love their chicken and they love their kebabs and they love their biryanis, and for that person to like suddenly quit cold turkey and be vegan overnight, that's a really big one. So Vinita, give him a hug from all of us and tell him, we are also proud of him. But bring him on the live one of these days. We'd really love to. Oh, wow. Okay. So he gave up at the age of 50. But you know what? If you see pictures of him from now till like 4 years before, you'll actually see that he started looking younger. Like your face changes. The inflammation. Oh, and I'll tell you one interesting thing that I found out about grains too. Okay. So the thing with grains is when you eat grains, and the reason why, our face and everything looks puffy and inflamed when we eat diets that revolve around grains. This was another revolutionary thing that I learned. And I observed it for a while before I confirmed it. So whenever you eat grains, like let's say rice, or listen, go for it. I will teach you things that you can make which are going to taste better than, I can teach you how to make a fish kebab which is going to taste better than the actual thing without even using fish. So if you're really thinking about it, I'll teach you how to make a chickpea tuna salad. I will teach you how to make a chickpea tuna kebab. I will teach you how to make a fried chicken with mushrooms. You really want to come on board, I will teach you all of that stuff, okay? So anyway, listen to this theory about grains. So when you eat grains, what happens is grains actually absorb, they have a tendency to soak up moisture, right? So when we cook rice, you know how the water disappears because the grains need that to puff up. So even after you eat them, when they become a part of your bloodstream, all through your skin, you keep on absorbing moisture. So grains not only suck the moisture from inside your body, they also suck atmospheric moisture and plump it on to your skin, which is why when you go on a grain-free diet, you actually are not absorbing that moisture from everywhere. So also when you become grain-free, you'll see that you don't feel as thirsty. Like, sometimes when you eat parathas for breakfast, you suddenly feel like I need to drink a lot of water. It's not the thirst. It's actually the grain that is asking for more moisture, because that's the way that's the composition of it. Like, it needs more moisture to function. So when you actually go on a grain-free diet and you're thinking, well, this is weird. Like, I am eating all this stuff. When we fast for 7 days in the Hindu calendar, twice a year at the equinox. And we do grain-free food. We don't do any rice. We don't do any rotis. We do alternate grains. Like, we'll do millets. We'll do buckwheat. We do things like that. We do fruits, yogurt, buckwheat, buckwheat and barnyard millets. And tapioca. And then a lot of the food for that fasting time in Navratri comes with, frying this, frying that. And strangely, I'm like, well, I've eaten fried foods for 7 days straight. At least one meal has been shallow fried or something. And I still have lost weight. Like, how is that possible? That is because the water that your body was holding on to with the grains is not happening because you don't do the grains anymore. It was really mind-blowing for me. And Skina, I see it. Thank you so much for posting that link. I'm actually going to go back into this live video and I'm going to click on that link so I can see more information on Instagram about that, right? So this is the reality of grains. I'm not saying grains are bad. We do need the carbs for, good brain function and to not get foggy in the head or whatever. But there are some really good sources of carbs. Also, vegetables have carbs. So if you're eating like zucchini noodles or whatever, you are getting carbs, but get carbs in moderation. Put at least, 2/3 of your plate is vegetables. A third of it is carbs. And you can pick your carbs carefully. But this was really interesting to know that carbs are the things that not only suck up all the moisture from inside your body, they also suck atmospheric moisture through your skin. Like, who knew that, right? So it was very interesting for me. And I see it now. Like, when I see my face, I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I'm still eating rice. I do eat rice and I eat buckwheat. I eat those kind of grains, but I don't eat wheat anymore. But if you're thinking of being grain-free, that's one of the first things that you'll notice. Like, in the next 3 to 4 days, you'll see that your body is it's less bloated. It's less stiff. So those are the things. And my chiropractor, like back in the day, I think 20 years ago, he used to say, no, you shouldn't do grains. They only cause inflammation. And I'm like, does he not know I'm Indian? Like, we eat rice and roti all the time. He's crazy. So I laughed at him. But now the more I study about it, the more I learn about it. So anyway, we did a long detour. We did a long detour from the pink dosa that we started out with. I do thank you for staying out here this long. I really, really appreciate it. Okay, Kina says he does a video every day about walking, his health journey, and he inspires everybody. So thank you, Kina, for sharing that. Vinita says she has to go. I know you all have to go. I do too. But thank you again for joining me. I will do another video tomorrow. Perhaps we'll do tomorrow we'll be live in the Queen's Curry Kitchen where we'll be baking the weekly food. And then Wednesday we will do the goat cheese dip. We will work on that. Like I said, if you're looking to register for the Thai food class, please, please, please drop a message to me in the PM so that my team can actually send you the information and we can sign you on. We'll send you the ingredient list and everything. All right. So with that, I am going to head out. Thank you so much. I have to reheat the dosas, but it's always so wonderful to talk to you. I don't mind eating cold food as long as I get a chance to talk to you. And you've been so interactive and you've been such a fantastic audience and such a fantastic tribe. I'm so proud that we are now up to 5,000 people. So if you feel like this video or my page adds value to your life or helps you to, connect on some level or enjoy a different taste or flavor that you're not comfortable with, you'll just need a log of goat cheese. You're going to need either spinach or you're going to need beetroots or carrot, any one of those things. You will need garlic, lemon, and olive oil. Nothing elaborate. It's just really, I'm going to do the simplest of the dips and we'll do some variations on that. Whatever you have, I'll be able to do 2 or 3 variations. So we'll be, and if you have honey though, that'll be awesome. That'd be awesome too. Okay. So I will see you again tomorrow from the Queen's Curry Kitchen when I'll be cooking live for the weekly menus. But thank you so much. If you'd like to share this page, please don't be stingy about sharing this page. We are really trying to grow this tribe so that we can bring more meaningful content. And I'm trying to go live every single day so that we can stay connected and stay inspired. It's very hard to meet anybody in person nowadays. There's a lot of restrictions and everybody's, of course, very careful with their health right now. So this is a good way to connect. And also, if you are trying to take charge of eating healthier food at home and trying to take charge of just making small changes in your life so that home cooked food is never too complicated for you, do join this page, follow this page so that you can keep getting recipes and keep getting inspired to do the same. I will see you soon in another video tomorrow. Until then, be blissful and flavorful. Cheers to life. Thank you for everybody that contributed so wholeheartedly to this conversation. I appreciate each and every one of you. Until tomorrow, take good care. Bye-bye and namaste. I do have to shampoo my hair after the rosemary oil that I put in. All right. So I will see you soon. Bye, guys.